Okay, I say we go ahead and get started. So some introductions. Diane, I'll let you introduce yourself if you would like.
Wow, that's an old picture. I had hair. Like, well, that's a couple years ago. Yeah, so I had hair then. Anyway, I'm Dr. Diane Bender. I'm actually program head for the entire interiors program, the undergraduate and the MIA degree. Been here since 2002. Moved here from chillier area in Michigan. Got fed up with shoveling snow. I said, that's it. I got to move somewhere warmer. So,
Yeah.
Christy, that is an older picture of you too.
This is, yeah, I had short, this is pre-pandemic when I was getting my hair cut more often.
So I went short and you went long.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
So my name is Christy Brown. I am a graduate coordinator here. I will be helping you through the application process, through admissions, any questions that you have. We'll have contact information at the end of the presentation. And then once you're a student, I'll be helping you throughout the whole program in advising and getting you registered. So we will get to know each other. So Diane, I will let you get
Sure, guys, what we're going to talk about is a little bit about interior design and interior architecture, current context, kind of what we do and what the program can offer. So you're probably here because you have an interest in the interior environment. And we spend almost 90% of our day indoors. And because of COVID, we spend like 99% now. We're inside a lot. So our discipline, we are in a continuous process of expansion. Nothing is ever the same from year to year. We have a lot of specialized areas of practice as our society changes. So what we try to do with the interior is we balance art with science in designing an interior space, but we also have to take into account all elements of the building, which is why our program is based in interior design, but it's moving toward the emerging profession of interior architecture, where you need to understand the structure a little bit more than an interior designer who might focus more on the materials. So it's not that we don't focus on the color of the wall and the carpet that's on the floor, but we do tend to pay a little bit more attention to the overall built environment. Next slide. So at the core is the living environment, and it's the continuum between the landscape and the architectural frame. So we work with these other areas, and we specialize in the design of livable and safe interior environments. Our master's program focuses mainly in commercial design, or what you might call contract. It's not that you couldn't do residential design after going through the program, but there's so much more to know about the safety of the people inside. We are legally responsible for the health, safety, and welfare of the user within the space. So it's more than about how it looks. Yes, this auditorium space looks wonderful, but it also functions. People can get to the fire exits. People can hear with the proper acoustics. The lighting is accurate. There's places for disabled folk to sit. So we really spend a lot of time in the masters talking about how people use space, and mostly it's public spaces, not your private individual residence. Next slide. So we are qualified by education, experience, and examination, and we enhance the function, quality, and meaning of interior spaces. So education is a CETA accredited program, which we are. Yay, we got our accreditation in 2018. We're super happy for that. So this is a CETA accredited program, which allows you to go out and get the 2 years of minimum job experience to then sit for the NCIDQ exam. That's the National Council of Interior Design Qualification. It's the national exam that then states recognize to make you a registered or even a licensed interior designer. So it depends on the state. Different states have different law in place. So the thing to know, though, is our program also focuses on the larger picture. We know we don't do this by ourselves. There's no way. There's no one firm that ever does anything anymore on its own. We have to collaborate with others. We have a large team that we work with on the job site: contractors, architects, engineers, craftsmen, furniture details, the business component, and more importantly, we work with and for the client. This is how we differentiate design from art. We don't have patrons. We have clients who have demands and who pay our paychecks, right? So it's more than just art. Next slide. So interior design and interior architecture encompasses human-centered strategies. We try to address in our program cultural, demographic, and political influences on society. We think about how are people working in today's climate, what's important today, what's trending. You know, work environments have so changed. So, you know, guaranteed the class that's going to address work environments is not going to be the same as it was 3 years ago. I mean, things are different. So the point is we have one client, but we have many users. So this public space here, this office environment, the client is whoever's the owner of the company, whoever's going to hire you and pay the teams, the design teams to do the job. But our user is everyone. So there is an aspect of our curriculum that focuses on environmental psychology, human behavior, a lot of empathy. How do people think? How do they react? How do they want to live in this space? Put yourself in their shoes. And we always try to think of multiple users, this person who's this size, this person who's from this ethnicity, this person from this gender, how are they going to react within a space? Because it's not, once again, a residential design where your client and your owner and your user, I mean, it's the same thing. Next slide. I think we've got one more. There we go. So our interiors program, we try to offer additional education opportunities above and beyond just let's work on a computer all day and do design work. So large scale projects, we try to get some of those in there. Reviews of your work by experienced designers, even in this online remote learning Zoom format, we're bringing in practitioners to do midterm and final reviews and desk crits. Like midterms are about right now. So we're starting to get those reviewers in. Each faculty brings in the experts that they think would give you the most advice and constructive criticism on the advancement of your project. So we also bring in top practitioners. We don't have enough full-time faculty to teach every class, and we don't want that many faculty. I'd love a few more, I really would. But this allows us the opportunity to go out and seek that professional. Who is that expert in acoustics? We got him. Who is that expert on biophilic design? We got her. So we go through and we look in the local community, or even now with the whole COVID, we've got some people who are working Chicago. I think one guy's from Chicago right now. So we try to bring in these practitioners as your instructors too, okay? We also try to get you guys to interact with designers in preparation for an internship. Christy can tell you that they are already thinking about the studio night event, which is in February. We just got that email about how to connect you with some practitioners in the area to start talking about internship opportunity. And I'm internship coordinator also, so I can answer questions about that. Right now, because of pandemic, we're being a little flexible with if students want to do an internship or just another class. Most of the students still choose to go out to the firm and work with the firm. Now, some of the firms are remote. So we had one student who I believe did her internship. They were in San Francisco. She stayed in Tempe and was able to do her internship this summer working remotely. The nice thing is though, she could still work with them. You know, doesn't matter. She doesn't have to be there. She could continue working. So internship's important. We do try to plan public events, or in this case, webinars. We're looking already in February to have some guest speakers speak. One couple, they have a firm in Barcelona. They're doing some great international work. We're gonna bring them in for a public webinar. Another one is Gensler. I can't remember if she's in LA or New York. We're trying to get somebody there. So we are still, even with the pandemic, and we can't have a public, let's all sit in a lecture hall. We're trying to still do some of these events for all of our students to enjoy. We have a student alliance, Interior Student Alliance organization. What this is, is the professional organizations are local, and then we have student chapters. Well, there's a few or professional organizations, and we didn't want students to have to choose one. So the student organization here on campus does have affiliations with the three main professional organizations: ASID, IIDA, and NEWH, which is the hospitality one. So our organization is actually very active. It's undergraduates and graduates together, because you guys may be a couple years older than the undergrads, but that's your future coworker at that firm. So we try to get some interaction between the undergrads and the grads, because, you know, a couple years out in industry, you're working with people from all different ages. That's an award-winning organization. We've won awards for some of the community engagement projects they've done, fundraising, and also there was another one, but we've won awards. It's been great. And last but not least, that's the picture on the bottom. You can see, you guys probably, anyone recognize that? I believe that's in Rome. Jose likes to take the students on a summer study abroad if that's something that interests you. Obviously, we couldn't go last year because of COVID, but we're hoping this year. He hopes to go to Vienna, Prague, and Paris. And Christy, I think you and I need to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'll go. Sign me up. Sign me up. So we have some opportunities, and these are just within our unit. But then there's also opportunities within the school, the larger school, also to be able to collaborate and do some other activities as you see fit. So I think that's my last slide.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Okay, I'll mute.
Okay.
In case my dog barks.
So ASU is the #1 in the US for innovation. We are ahead of Stanford and MIT. If you've seen any of ASU's marketing, you're aware of this fact. We're very proud of it. We've got, for the 6th year in a row, we've been given this designation. And what this means for you is that ASU is a really fast-paced, dynamic university. There's lots of opportunity for you to work in, the most innovative technology and things that are coming out in your field. So very exciting to be a part of this. So we have other graduate programs beyond the interior architecture program. So just to kind of breeze past some of these, just so you're aware. So we've got studio-based programs, the Master of Architecture with a 3-year and 2-year pathway that's STEM designated. Obviously Master of Interior Architecture with a 3+ and 2-year pathway, Master of Industrial Design, a 3+ and 2-year pathway, which is STEM. Master of Landscape Architecture, 3-year, 2+ and 2-year pathway, which is STEM. And just a quick note on these 3-year, 2-year pathways. Generally, the 3-year or the 3+ pathway is meant for students who do not have an undergraduate degree in the field that they want to study in their graduate degree. So if you want to study Master of Architecture, you can, if you came from an English background or something like that, but you would go into that 3-year pathway. The 2-year pathway is meant for students who do have a bachelor's degree in that same field that they are studying for their graduate degree. So that, to hopefully clear up some of that. We also have the Master of Science in Innovation and Venture Development degree, which is a brand new degree we just launched this year. It's also a partnership with W.P. Carey School of Business and the Fulton Schools of Engineering. That is STEM designated. There's a Master of Urban Design degree, and then the Master of Visual Communication Design degree, which again has a 3+ and the 2-year pathway. And then we also have some research-based programs, the Master of Science in Architecture, another STEM degree, Master of Science in Design. This has concentrations in industrial design, interior design, and visual communication design. And then we have our PhD in Design, Environment, and the Arts. So the application process, there are 2 applications you'll need to fill out. The first one is to ASU's Graduate College, and this is just kind of your typical information about yourself, previous education history, probably similar to other applications you filled out for your undergrad. You'll upload your unofficial transcripts when you submit this application, but if you are accepted, you will have to send the official transcripts from your school. If you are an international student, not from an English-speaking country, or you didn't do your undergrad or another grad degree in an English-speaking institution, you'll have to provide proof of English proficiency. And then GRE scores are only required for the Master of Science in Architecture degree and the PhD. The other application is the slide room application, and this is really more specific to our design degrees. This is what the admissions committees are really going to be focused on when they are evaluating you. So this is where you want to put a lot of your effort. So there will be a portfolio required, and on the next slide, I'll kind of discuss a little bit more in detail what that is comprised of. There will be a statement of purpose, just kind of your typical information about yourself, what your goals are, why you want to get into this program. And then you'll have to have 2 recommenders, and you just need to provide their name and email address. The system will send them an email with a link to go ahead and upload their letter for you. So no hard copies needed. We've already opened our admissions cycle on September 15th, and our priority deadline is January 15th. And this is important to pay attention to if you want to be considered for any funding opportunities that we offer in the admissions process. So scholarships and TA positions, and I know you all would like to be considered for those, so definitely get it in before January 15th. You got plenty of time. And then after that, we will be on kind of a rolling monthly basis with our admissions deadlines. So the portfolio. So for those of you who are interested in the 2-year program, if you have an undergraduate degree in interior design or architecture, this is going to be more traditional of a design portfolio. So, rendering skills, things that you did in your undergrad, anything you've done in an internship or in the work field. The 3+ applicants are going to be maybe a little bit more stumped as to what to include in this, but rather than looking for a robust design portfolio, they know you're coming from all different backgrounds. So they're really just getting to know who you are, where your creativity lies, what your interests are. So if you do anything like drawing or painting or photography, if you refinish furniture, really anything that's kind of a creative pursuit you can use in this portfolio. And Diane, do you have anything, since you're on the committee, anything you want to add to this?
It's any creative expression. So a popular one is photography usually, because come on, we all have our phones, right? So for the 3+ people, you might not know what a portfolio is, so Google it, look up what's a portfolio. If you're near a library, even on campus, you can probably get a hold of my book. I think I have it. Design portfolios. I'm not pushing my book, believe me. But it's look for it at the library maybe, or like a cheap copy on eBay, because it's all about how to put together a portfolio for people who don't know how to do it. What we also look for in the portfolio for anyone 2-year or the 3+ is the organization of it. You guys know, you don't just slap stuff together. We're looking at how you think, how you put things together, how you organize the things in groups, which tells us your thinking capabilities, not just the pictures I'm looking at. So a lot of the 3+ students have been very successful, not just what they show. Like one student, he designed earrings. He designed the most incredible earrings. And I'm like, cool earrings, but the way he set up the presentation, he framed the picture, he used light and shadow. I mean, it was very, it hit a lot of the design elements and principles, and he might not have even known he was hitting those, but I'm like, oh, look, line and repetition, and it was great. So another student I know, and it was in architecture, I heard this one, was sushi, like fish, like the way they designed the sushi. I'm like, that is a creative expression, but it's how you present it that we look at. The letters of recommendation, yes, they're helpful, but honestly, who's going to ask somebody to write a letter and that person's going to write a horrid letter? So I don't personally put much weight on those letters, because somebody's going to say nice things about you no matter what. I'm looking at your portfolio and I'm looking at your statement. Why do you want to be here? Why do you want to go through 2, maybe 3 years of additional schooling? What are you passionate about? What do you want to, why is this, so important? And usually there's a reason that you want to do this. It's not, I want to make $1 million, because come on, let's be honest, this is not, you're not going to make millions. It's, I want to help people. I had this great experience in a restaurant once, or I had to be in the hospital, and the way it was designed. What's your story? Tell us your story. This isn't a degree that we look at writing as like, oh my, you can see my dog's coming in and out here, nice. that we look at, you do look at writing skills because you're a grad student and you need to know how to write and you're going to have to do some writing. But it's, you know, just tell us your story. Why do you really want to be in this program?
Great. Thank you. So contact information. So you can see Corey Cisco, she's my counterpart. Her email address, my email address, the big bold one in the middle, designgrad@asu.edu. That's the one we recommend you always use because it goes to both of us. So if someone's out of the office, your email will always get looked at. And then once we're all back on campus, we're located, our offices are in College of Design North, room 162. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions after this. We'll try to get a lot of questions answered shortly here. But again, use this email address if you have anything lingering that you'd like to ask. Like and follow us on social media. You can see all of our handles here. Kind of get a feel for what students are doing, what activities are going on in the school. Highly recommend you check us out. And now time for questions. So if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A so that everyone can see them rather than in the chat. And we will kind of go one by one here. So looks like we have a question. What about the application fee? I'm from Iran and it's almost impossible for most of us Iranians to pay for the application fee due to the low value of our currency. Is there any alternative way for someone like me? So we do not offer application fee waivers. That fee is through the graduate college application, so we actually don't even oversee the option of offering those. You certainly are welcome to reach out to them directly to inquire. It's not something that is generally offered, but you can certainly ask. The email, I can type in the email address here. To go ahead and ask that, but like I said, it's uncommon.
So Christy, the slide room application fee is separate.
The slide room is separate. That's the one that's only $10. The more expensive one is the graduate college one that generally is the one that gives students a little pause. It's $70 for domestic students and I believe $115 for international students. So that one,
yeah, and that covers the graduate college doing all the background, you know, all the checks, and they set things up, and yeah.
A lot of processing and back end work for the applications.
What other questions? Can you hear that in my background? I hope. My husband has decided to trim the shrubs in the front yard, right in front of my office, and I told him I was doing this tonight. Thanks.
That's so funny.
Thanks, husband. I'll try to mute.
No worries. I'm going to go ahead and actually just stop sharing our screen so we can just see us. Here we go. Any other questions?
Where are you guys from? We know Jessica's from Nashville and Daniel's from Tempe. Just curious, because I can't see you. So is it the chat window they type in?
So yeah, oh, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Ooh, it's chilly up there, I bet.
Yeah, do you have snow yet?
I don't, yeah, do you have snow? Maybe not.
Strange warm front.
Enjoy it.
Enjoying it.
I remember being up in Michigan as a kid, and you had two Halloween costumes. You had the it's gonna be warm, and you have to wear a parka and snow boots and gloves. So.
Oh yeah, and it was always such a bummer. I'm from Northwest Indiana, and it was such a bummer when you had to ruin your costume with turtlenecks and gloves. And
I know.
That's not what the Disney princess wore.
This isn't right. What else do you guys want to know about? Anything about Arizona? If you're not from this area, it is beautiful. It's just hot in the summer. But that's when we do internships out of state or out of country.
Yes.
And we try to get out during the summer as much as possible.
Well, the nice thing too about Phoenix and Tempe, where this university is we're so close to other areas where you can get out of the heat. So we're close to Flagstaff, which is always cool in the summer. We're close to California. You can go to the beach, San Diego. We're close to Mexico. You can go down to the beach there. So there's options to get out of the heat.
Yeah.
And the joys of air conditioning.
Yeah, or even Sedona and the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Just head up for, you know, a weekend. It's kind of nice to get away. That's what most people do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you have to see the Grand Canyon when you're here. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, hard to, oh, I just noticed my picture's totally crooked. Whoops. Oh well. Oh well, sorry. No questions? You guys don't have any questions?
Did we
I know
cover
my
it
presentation
well?
I wasn't that good. Or I scared everybody off.
Well, if you have any other questions, like I said, there's the design grad at asu.edu. We try to get back to you very quickly. You'll usually get a response within a day. So if you have any questions afterwards, send it there.
And Christy, our curriculum is still on the website, right?
It is. Yep.
So you guys, yeah, you guys could see what kind of classes we'd take. Obviously, we're studio-based programs, so the studio is the main core of our pedagogy, and that's where you learn to do design by doing design, or you learn how to bring in these new aspects. If you already know how to do some design, we try to teach you some new things. But then we bring in some other specialty classes, you know, construction documents. Not everybody's going to learn about that. We've got codes, because if you're international, you're not familiar with the codes that we have here in the US, and pro practice and things like that. So we try to develop a pretty good curriculum that covers the topics you need and the knowledge to then apply those skills in the studio. So we're constantly changing, making some tweaks here and there, offering an elective. We're trying to offer an elective this spring with Revit and virtual reality. So we'll see if that flies. Hopefully we'll get enough students in that. That'd be a cool one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Christy said, just email the design grad. And if there's a specific question for me, you can email me at my ASU email, diane.bender@asu.edu, or Christy will forward your email to me, and I can also get you in contact with other faculty if you have a question for them. So just want to answer questions.
Yeah, and I did put in the chat here the link to the degree program. Underneath at the kind of a little halfway down the page, you'll find a link to the plans of study. And then I also put a link to the course catalog. So if you want to learn more about those classes, get a little description, even kind of see generally when some of these classes are held. The schedules don't change significantly from year to year. So you can see when the classes were held this semester and kind of get a feel for when classes might be held in the future. So check them out on the catalog there.
All right.
Great.
Nothing else?
All right.
Okay.
Well, we have no more questions.
All right.
Thank you very
guys.
much. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, Christy, for organizing this.
Thank you.